transformed, yes, I think that's the perfect word. It has transformed my life completely, absolutely. I think, nobody. Nobody doesn't mean nobody. Of course, you're always someone, you've got a family, you've got people, in-laws, husbands, children. And well, life was chaotic. Not only chaotic, it was very troublesome. You know how life can throw things upside down. Not only upside down, they were completely upside down. There was a point in my life where I thought, this is not good enough. I don't need to live anymore. That was the time when I was introduced to yoga. And with yoga, the transformation that happened, of course, it was not magical. It was not instantaneous. It took several years. There were times when I said, okay, this is enough. I don't need this anymore. Nothing is helping. But something made me persevere, and I went on and on. And today I can say, from that insignificant little mousy woman, it's a transformation. I can't believe it, but yes, it is true. It has happened. And this transformation I'm talking about is becoming from a nobody to somebody. Somebody I don't mean as an egocentric person, but as an individual, as an entity who I am. I realize that yes, I am something very unique, something very special in the whole scheme of the universe. And after recognizing this, I became more witness-like to everything that was happening in the world. I could accept people as they are. I did not have to fight with everybody to say, okay, this is it or this is not. So I have my space, I allow people their space, or rather it's their space. I'm nobody to even allow anything to anyone. And it's a beautiful life, it's a wonderful life. I don't think I would need anything more than this. It's so beautiful. I know who I am, I know where I am, and here I am. Ah, that's very nice, because normally people misconceive yoga as oh, so many minutes in a day, or so many hours in a day. I feel yoga is not about the physical alone. It is about my mind, my intellect, my body, everything put together as a harmonious, integrated unit. So it is my mind which needs to step out from its comfort zone. It needs to understand more. There my intelligence, my buddhi plays a role and says, yes, Damini, you don't have to do this. You don't have to follow people. And that is where yoga came into my life. It was more at the mental and the intellectual level, which made me see things in a certain light. And that is what I feel I must share with people, that yoga is not about asanas alone, it's not about pranayams alone, it is about the personality which has to blossom. And that happens when the chitta vritti nirodha, we are on that process and the path to managing and I say mastering the mind. The simplest, after you master your mind, well, you are there. You look at the world as it is. And that was being drashta. So when the next sutra comes into the picture, tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. So this is what I feel I'm going there. I don't think I've reached there completely. It's a journey, of course. In life, it's all about a journey. To reach the destination, maybe, I'm sure I will at one point, but to be that witness, to observe, to let things be as they are, to allow nature to work her way, her desires through me, that is tada drashto. So I don't look for anything, I don't have any great desires to do things, but allowing nature to do what she has to do. I'm just a medium, that is drashta, and in the process I realize Swarupe Avasthanam, I realize to be established in who I am.
What is the role of God or Ishvara in yoga?
In yoga, of course, in the sutras of Maharshi Patanjali, Ishvara plays a great role. He talks about Ishvara Pranidhan. For me, I cannot put a name or a symbol or a form to Ishvara. For me, this whole universe is Ishvara. The sun is rising on one side. We are in this beautiful place. This is Ishvara. Meeting people like you is Ishvara. So it's all the Ishvara Tattva that I would be looking at, which is there in everything that is manifest or unmanifest. I really don't know much about that, but yes, if I can recognize that spirituality, that essence of some greater power, some energy, I would see that as Ishvara Tattva.
You have taught for more than 2 or 3 decades, right?
Yes, around 28 years.
Yeah. How do you think beginners should approach yoga? And what is your guidance to how they might approach?
I feel a beginner should approach yoga with an open mind, not be restricted to any names of yoga which have become very popular, associated with gurus and so on. Of course, the guru is very important in life, but for a beginner, empty the mind and then get into this. So once you're empty of all your preconditioning of the mind, at that time, whatever somebody is giving you, you will be able to receive and absorb it. So rather than a questioning mind, rather be in the state of absorbing. So I would feel, be like the sponge. You can always absorb and absorb whatever is there to, the world offers a lot. And that is most important. Maybe another example would be like that glass of water which is half filled. Yes, you have something, I have something, but I'm always ready to take in more and more.
What is your guidance to them?
Well, each one has his or her own journey. So maybe in their own journey, they will find their way. At least they have begun on their path. So on the path, it's a constant process. They will definitely go ahead. So I don't think I'm anybody to guide them. Their own conscience, their own practice will definitely take them where they have to go.
How do you see the connection between yoga and Vedanta?
I personally believe it's a big misconception to see differences. There is no difference. If yoga talks of Kaivalya, and Vedanta also talks about that oneness, that unity. So if we are talking about unity, oneness, we are talking about the Atman, the soul, which Vedanta would say as Atman and Paramatman. In yoga, you would say as the Purusha or the Drashta. So ultimately, we are talking of the same thing. We are just using different words. And words are not as important as the concept and as the practice. So it's the same path, it's the same journey. It is intellectuals, the academicians who say, no, this is this, this is this. But personally, I believe it's all about oneness. I would go a little into Western terminology. In Western terminologies, you have a word hermeneutics. So when you look at hermeneutics, you would say it's the way of interpretation. Ultimately, whether it's Uttar Mimamsa or whether it's Samkhya, whether it's Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, they are all Astika Darshana. So if they are Astika Darshana, they have to be based somewhere. The seeds, the roots are based in Vedanta, in the Vedas. So here we are going back to the Shrutis. So even if there are differences, they are more academic differences rather than actual differences. So they are differences of interpretation. And well, if you leave the intellect behind at one point and then you say, all right, I don't need to discriminate so deeply, you need to see the larger perspective, then there are no big differences. Yes, conceptual differences may be there, but ultimately it's, again, I would just go back to that oneness and say, yes, it's about that oneness. It just takes me back to one sutra of Maharishi Patanjali, and it's about abhyasa. The only way to move forward is continuous, uninterrupted abhyasa, that is dirgha kala, nirantarya, satkara, asevito dradabhumi. And I feel that is what has worked in my life. Come what may, I have not lost my practice. Yes, of course, I have forgotten it many times. I have not done so many things that I should be doing. But well, I have always picked up and never looked back in my life. So yes, the only thing I would say, practice. And practice is the answer. There's one little thing, the last thing I would like to share is once I was walking in my yoga institute, and I was very new and very raw at that time. So one of my friends and me, we both were talking, and the head of our institute, Dr. Jaydev, was passing by. I was very nervous and I blurted out, "Doctor, we are talking about Yoga Sutras." He just looked up like this and he said, "Practice." And that's all. So everything has been summed up in one word, is abhyasa, practice. Yes. In fact, one thing that drew me to the Yoga Institute, only one thing, was that it's a life school. And the gurus are householders. And I'm a woman of the world. I had my home, my kingdom, where I apparently thought I was the boss, but no, I wasn't. And I had to struggle every day to maintain my sanity. And when I went to the Yoga Institute, my guru, Hansaji, she was sitting the way I'm dressed in a sari, she had her jewelry, and I said, I need to live in the world, and yet I need to follow something, because for me moving out from my family was out of question. And at the Yoga Institute, I have asked Hansaji, who's my guru now, very personal questions, very private questions, which I could not have asked any other guru, because she, being a householder herself, she could look through my issues, my problems. And that is what drew me there, being a life school, a householder yogi school. Thank you.